Okay, the Pixel 6a, it's officially here. I've had it for about 24 hours. Let's talk about it. Much like the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro that went through a design overhaul in what I describe in a good way, the Pixel 6a really follows suit. It has a striking similarity to its flagship brothers, and I'm happy to say it's not only on the outside. Now here's the kicker that no doubt is going to be the biggest differentiator. This phone is priced at a very reasonable $449, and it has many people wondering if the Pixel 6a could be the best budget phone of 2022. Well, Google was cool enough to send me out a unit for me to check out early, and I've been testing it out all day, so hit that like button and let's jump right into my first impressions. Okay, first, let's talk about the Pixel 6a's physical design because it's kind of a big deal. And I say that because unlike its predecessors, the 6a has a noticeably more premium look that is clearly modeled off the successful overhaul of the Pixel 6 lineup. It has what now has become that signature Pixel two-tone look on the back divided by the ledge camera housing. I have mine in the chalk colorway, which is pretty classic. I love the subtle difference between the pearly white and the slight gray on the top. It uses 3D thermoformed composite for the material on the back, which is just a fancy way to say that it's molded plastic, which I know can sound off-putting, but it's actually not bad and it feels like it has a glass back, which when paired with the recycled aluminum frame, it still gives the Pixel 6a that semi-rugged look, but in a way that's significantly more refined than before. The ledge camera housing here is a welcome addition as it really has become the most notable physical attribute associated with modern Pixels today. It is way less protruding than its bigger brothers, but still makes the phone really identifiable. Turn the phone around and you have the edge-to-edge 6.1-inch display, making this one of the most immersive Pixel designs, which is again a very welcome change of pace. This also marks the first Pixel 8 device that doesn't have a dated fingerprint reader on the back of the phone and instead uses an in-display one, making for a much cleaner and more modern overall aesthetic. And all of this comes together to also provide a pretty respectable IP67 dust and water resistance rating. Now when compared to the physical design of the Pixel 6, the most noticeable differences are going to be number one, the plastic back. It would have been nice to have glass here, but I'm really not sweating it that much, especially considering that the phone still looks and feels really good. And at the end of the day, I think it's a relatively small trade-off for the cost savings you get. The Pixel 6a is also slightly smaller than the 6, and I think these dimensions better hit the mark when it comes to achieving that right size form factor. It's comfortable to hold in the hand and easy to navigate, but still generously immersive when it comes to screen real estate. And speaking of screen real estate, let's talk a little bit more about the Pixel 6a's display. It's a 6.1-inch OLED panel that has the same Full HD Plus resolution as the Pixel 6, and because it's actually slightly smaller in dimensions, it actually packs in more pixels per inch, and the quality here is pretty good. It's sharp, colors are full and vibrant, and it does support HDR content, though I would like it to be a little bit brighter. But overall, I think the display is an area of value here, considering that from a viewing quality standpoint, it's essentially the same as the more expensive Pixel 6. But it does lack a feature that is becoming more and more important by the day, and that's the high refresh rate. So while the Pixel 6 Pro comes with a 120Hz variable refresh rate and the regular Pixel 6 on 90, the Pixel 6a comes equipped with the basic and, dare I say, now outdated 60Hz refresh rate. So you're not going to get that silky smooth UI navigation user experience you may be used to if you're on a device that supports a high refresh rate. And look, I get it, it's a bummer, but let's be real here, if the 6a had a high refresh rate, it would no doubt make the phone more expensive, and considering how good the price point is here, I don't think most will mind its absence. And that's mainly because the Pixel 6a really doesn't have many concessions when it comes to features and performance. Arguably the most notable similarity to its flagship brothers is the presence of Google's in-house Tensor chip, a major leap ahead of the on-the-nose underwhelming chipsets Google has used in the past with their A line of devices. And with this amount of power at your fingertips, you get access to some of Google's most advanced features. For example, you could take advantage of Google's advanced dictation capabilities, as well as unique camera features like Magic Eraser. The Tensor chip also allows you to comfortably do other spec-intensive activities like playing games without any major hiccups or slowdowns. I will say navigating around the UI could be a little herky-jerky. It's likely I've just been spoiled by high refresh rate displays for too long, but scrolling through apps like Twitter and Instagram is a little bit more jittery than I would like. Now, an aspect of performance that I gotta say is just disappointing, there's really no way to sugarcoat it, is the in-display fingerprint reader. And this is a real bummer because I was so excited to finally have one on a Pixel 8 device, but it's an optical sensor and it's just really slow. You have to hold your finger on the display for a good amount of time before it authenticates. It almost feels like it's using a Gen 1 version of this technology that's really old, and it's kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Now the next area of performance in which the Pixel 6a so far stands out in a good way is battery life. Now Google claims you could comfortably get through a full 24-hour day on a full charge and even boasts a pretty insane 72-hour battery life when using the extreme battery saver mode. And this is impressive because when comparing specs, this is noticeably better performance than the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Now I haven't had enough time to really put it to the test, but so far it's looking optimistic. Keep an eye out for a more in-depth review coming soon where I'll have more updates on if Google's claims here are legit. Now a noteworthy omission, however, is wireless charging. This is going to be tough if you completely converted to wireless charging around the house, and it would have been a great feature to have. It also doesn't come with a charging brick and can only support up to 18 watts fast charging, which is kind of a bummer. But that of course brings me to the most important aspect of any Pixel's performance, and that's the 6a's camera quality. So let's start with the hardware. The Pixel 6a has a dual camera setup on the rear, one standard wide angle and an ultra wide, both clocking in at 12 megapixels, and it has a single shooter 8 megapixel selfie camera on the front. Now right off the bat, the primary wide angle camera is not as heavy duty of a sensor as what's on the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. To me, not the biggest deal because what the Pixel 6a does have is access to Google's advanced computational photography wizardry, and no joke, these pictures come out fantastic. It has that signature Pixel look in which pictures are sharp, have a good amount of contrast, accurate colors, and stellar dynamic range. This is really encouraging to see, and I know it's only been 24 hours, but I'd confidently put this phone as having arguably the best picture quality at this price point, and it's pretty commensurate to its more expensive bigger brothers. Now unfortunately, true to Pixel form, while the Pixel 6a does a pretty phenomenal job with still images, it definitely lacks with video quality. It can shoot 4K video with the camera on the rear, and it looks okay. Colors come off a little bland, and still no 24 frames per second, which I find annoying. Now to be fair, it's pretty similar to what's coming out of the more expensive Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but it's equally underwhelming to say the least. Okay, first impressions, I gotta say it's a little bit more of a mixed bag than I thought it was gonna be. I am loving this new form factor and it definitely looks the part, but the limitations around the display's refresh rate, subpar fingerprint reader, and lack of wireless charging, I don't know, it's got me thinking that maybe paying a little bit more for the Pixel 6 may be the better way to go. Now it's only been 24 hours, so I've got a lot more comprehensive testing to do before I make any final determinations. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel so you can catch my full review coming soon, but let me know what you guys think. Do you think the initial first impressions of the Pixel 6a are good, or do you think it's headed in the wrong direction? Curious to get your thoughts, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Okay, that's about it for this quick review. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up if you guys found it useful. Again, I'd really appreciate it. Check out these other reviews if you're looking for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.